To the weekend roundup where we recap every series that was from the past weekend. You got Jack McMullen and I am Peter Apple. I stuttered too much in that intro.
Should we start over again? Let's do it, but we're not going to cut the flub.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Welcome.
To the weekend roundup where we recap every series that was from the past weekend. Jack and I both have takeaways. We're going to summarize it all. Everything that happened over the weekend, you're going to hear in this episode. Much
That was
better.
way better. That was
Much
so much
better.
better. Jack, Petey, just baseball show for Monday, September 9th. You
Yeah.
look really good. You look
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, no, you're just saying that. So, for all those watching on YouTube, this isn't Peter Apple's little brother, Petey. This
No,
is
he did
Peter.
the manicuring, haircut and shave, and
I did
sometimes
get
it backfires.
I did shave my face. So when I do shave my face, it looks like I tuck like this. And I'm new to the baseball scene.
You should start talking like that more. It's more endearing.
I kind of already do that when we harmonize for the mailbag. I do it
Yeah,
every week.
because you go high, I go low, right? Is that how that works? Or do you
We
go
like
low?
to we like to switch it up.
Yeah, right. So it's all brought to us by whom?
Bet
Petey?
MGM, the king of sports books. Remember, folks, use code JUSTBASEBALL for a first bet offer up to $1,500 back in bonus bets. It's a good time, if you haven't yet, to take advantage for the playoffs because they're coming up in just a few weeks. So remember, use code JUSTBASEBALL after you download BetMGM, and you have to deposit at least $10. And on your first bet, if it were to lose, you'll get that amount that you put on it back in bonus bets up to $1,500. And if you win, congratulations, you won a freaking bet. But remember, gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older. Terms and conditions apply.
Before we get into the roundup, can I express my love for the baseball calendar? The Major League Baseball regular season, we get opening day and the get your feet wet games in the Major League Baseball calendar of the 162 in the heat of March Madness, which is great. So I love the front part of baseball because you have that. And then on Saturdays, you can go turn on the NCAA tournament, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that kind of thing. You can turn on the NCAA tournament. You get that Saturday, Monday. There's really only like 2 weeks of crossover there. But this is the wheelhouse. During the week, it's all baseball. And then Thursday night, you can turn on your NFL football. And then Friday night, I've got a college game that I'm going to keep tabs on. And Saturday, dude, you sit down all day, you watch your college football, and then you flip to your ball game at night. And then on Sunday, you sit there and you multi-screen with the NFL and with baseball. Like the red zone big inning over Stimulation City is probably the best thing in the world. And I just love how perfect the baseball viewing calendar is.
I couldn't agree with you more. My two favorite months for sports, September and October, because we get the end of the Major League Baseball season plus the playoffs and the World Series and all of that. My favorite time of the year, coupled with my second favorite sport, which is the NFL. Now, I'm not a huge college football fan, but I am a huge Syracuse football fan. So also watching them in the meantime has been great too. So
McCourt ripping it.
I actually have a question for everybody watching on YouTube. What's your favorite calendar or favorite month in
Yeah,
the calendar for sports? Because
yeah.
everybody likes different sports. Like, for example, you're a big college basketball guy. You probably like April, March better than most months.
Yeah.
Curious. So just let us know in the YouTube comments below.
Yeah, why not, right? It's hey, interact. Yeah, I would say March is my favorite because you get the fun of spring training. Like I'm turning on spring training during the day, and then I've got the NCAA tournament on at night, and I love that. I love the newness of spring training and the prospect intrigue of spring training. And then October because you start to get the high level college football games, and you've got postseason baseball, which is phenomenal. But we will get into September baseball now, and I will start us. How about
Can
that
I
for a
start just because? Oh, wait, no, you will start us because I have the Sunday night baseball series. You're right.
yeah? Why'd you want to start?
I I don't know. I don't have an answer.
I have all of this planned, and you're like, wait, I want to go first. I'm like, no.
The real answer was I kind of wanted the attention, but you know, go ahead.
Well, you can offer a take here because I am going to recap Rays O's to start us off. And this was a 2-1 series win for the Tampa Bay Rays. Game one went to Baltimore 2-0. Gunnar Henderson had two of the four Baltimore hits. Tampa Bay had just 3 hits in all. Only runs in this game came on a sacrifice fly from Jackson Holliday and Gunnar Henderson's 36th home run. Shane Baz, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. He was good. Dean Kramer was great. 6 innings, no runs, and 7 Ks. Sir Anthony Dominguez got the 4-out save. Game 2, this is when it swung in Tampa's direction. 7-1 Rays. Yandy Diaz, Johnny DeLuca both had 3-hit days. Yandy and Taylor Walls both homered for Tampa. Cedric Mullins homered for Baltimore. Play of the game, Jose Siri taking that home run away from Gunnar Henderson. That was insane. And that proves to you, I stand by that Brenton Doyle is so far and away the best defender in all of baseball. I think regardless of position
You
here.
think so? You think by far the best defender? I mean, that's a take. Like, I don't hate it, but that's a take.
He is amazing. He's, top of the charts when it comes to outs above average, defensive run saves. He's top of the charts when it comes to range factor. He has the strongest outfield arm in Major League Baseball. He's the perfect center fielder. I think he's perfect out there. Jose Siri is a not so distant second, I don't think. And that just furthers the mastery of center field for Jose Siri. And Gunner's helmet slam over at first base, and we realized that Siri got it, said all you got to know about the Baltimore Orioles right now. Zach Eflin, 5 2/3 innings, 3 runs. Ryan Pepio, 5 1/3, 1 run. Drew Rasmussen, 5 up, 5 down out of the bullpen. I like them using him out of the bullpen right now. I hope he moves back into the rotation next year, but that rotation gets really crowded really quick when McClanahan comes back. And you're looking at McClanahan, Bradley, Springs, Boz. I mean, list goes on here. And do you have space for Rasmussen when Pepio is throwing this way? Game 3, 2-0 Tampa. The old Roku game started at 11:30. Only runs came on a 2-run homer from Johnny DeLuca in the 6th. Corbin Burns allowed that home run. 6 innings, 2 runs, 3 Ks. Gunnar Henderson, 3 hits. Mullins had 2. Those were all 5 of the Orioles' hits. They were all singles. Zach Littell, 5 shutout. My worry is that Gunnar Henderson did too much. And that was what drew me to the Baltimore Orioles all year long. It's Gunnar and everybody else. If it's just Gunnar, then they become more like the Kansas City Royals than I wanted them to be. And that's what scares me.
And the Royals have better pitching, at least in the rotation.
Yes. Yeah.
So I totally agree with you. I've been worried about the Orioles for, I feel like, a few weeks, just because I'm not sold on their pitching. It's good to get Eflin back. That's huge. But Corbin Burns has not been the bona fide ace. And Corbin Burns doesn't also have a lengthy track record of dominating in the playoffs either. Right? A lot of these Brewers series where he was the ace wasn't that great. Not bad, but not great, right? Doesn't have that pedigree that like a Zach Wheeler might. So I look at the rotation, I'm a little bit nervous. I look at their bullpen, I'm a little bit nervous. But here's the thing that I wanted to talk about. And I'm glad you brought up Gunnar and everybody else. Because I do feel like Gunnar's season has gone from, we're talking about it a lot, but then Bobby kind of takes a next step. Judge takes a next step. Soto, you got Lindor in the National League. Let's remind ourselves what Gunnar has been doing this year.
Yeah.
He's got 36 jacks, like you said. Should have been 37, but Jose Siri was Superman. 17 stolen bases. He's got an 11% walk rate to 22% strikeout rate. He's just fantastic. 279, 365, 538 for a 156 WRC plus and a 7.1 F4. Last year, that 7.1 F4 would have been 4th in Major League Baseball. Would have been better than Corey Seager, right? This guy is unfreaking believable. And because of other guys in his own league, or Francisco Lindor in the National League, taking the spotlight away from him, we haven't talked about Gunnar in, I feel like, months.
I know.
This guy has been otherworldly. He's 22, 23 years old. I mean, my God, this guy's a superstar.
I know, man. And at the end of the day, as it stands right now, we have 5 7-win players in Major League Baseball. Judge is at 9.6. Bobby Witt's at 9.6. And then you go to Soto at 7.6, Lindor at 7.3, Gunnar at 7.1. So we're talking about a clip that would have been 4th in Major League Baseball last year and is 5th in Major League Baseball this year. But because of how good, like you're saying, Judge and Witt and Soto have been, It's almost like we put him on the back burner when you play the Trout MVP game, right? His rookie year. Oh, he would have won MVP any other year except Miggy won the Triple Crown. Miggy got the Triple Crown. What's the right terminology there? He hit for the Triple Crown. He won the Triple Crown. He got the Triple Crown.
Won the Triple Crown, I think.
He won the Triple Crown because he
But I'm
won
not
the
sold.
batting
I
title.
also, for all those watching on YouTube, I said won the Triple Crown, then I squinted because I think.
Right? Because you hear yourself say it, and it's like,
Yeah.
what did he win? He won the batting title. Did he win
Yeah.
the home run crown and the RBI crown? I don't really get it. But it's that kind of conversation where Gunnar has been so good, where you put him in any other situation and he's the star of baseball
Yeah.
at this point because he's this young shortstop, because he's on this young and exciting team. But frankly, like I think the Orioles' elongated struggles over the last month and change have kind of hurt that narrative around Gunnar Henderson because Kansas City has had their ripples where they're nasty for like a week at a time. The Yankees are the Yankees. You're never going to run into that problem. Baltimore started so hot. Gunnar was the topic of conversation everywhere. And then they slowly kind of tapered off and they never really kept that early season vibe going. And I'm with you. Like, I understand that you've been worried for a couple weeks at this point. I don't know where my level of concern is, but my level of concern is much higher than it was, I think, a month and a half ago.
And also, concern is relative
Yeah, it is entirely.
because when you're talking about some of those guys offensively who have, not really stepped up fully to the plate this year, they can get hot at any moment.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to take anything away from the Orioles. I still think that they're one of the best teams in Major League Baseball. My concern is with them about winning the World Series. I want to be clear about that. It's all relative. Like, I'm not concerned about them as an actual team. They're one of the best teams still in Major League Baseball. I'm concerned about their ability to win a World Series. That's what I'm trying to talk about.
Totally fair. All right, let's go to the next series here. That next series is a bit more of a clunker, so we can spend a little bit less time on that. It's Washington and the Pirates, two teams that are out of the postseason conversation. 4-game set. Game one went to the Buccos 9-4 at PNC. Andres Chaparro went yard. Nick Gonzalez had a 3 RBI day, but the Pirates had a 5-run second. Jake Irvin got cooked. Game two, 5-3 Washington. Dylan Cruz with a homer. He opened scoring. DJ Hers, man, 5 no-hit, 3 walks, and 5 Ks. Hers, when he can go short like that, can turn in those outings where it's 5 innings and 80, 85 pitches, but yet nobody gets a base hit against him. Game 3, 8-6 Washington. Nats got 4 in the ninth against Aroldis Chapman. Mitchell Parker snuck the joint up, unfortunately. Mitch Keller was better. 6 innings, 2 runs, 8 Ks, and no walks. Andres Chaparro again, 3 for 5 with a homer and 3 driven in. Game 4 was the Billy Cook game. He got up for his major league debut. He was acquired from Baltimore. He was the odd man out of the outfield situation for the O's, and he was acquired for pitching prospect Patrick Riley at the deadline. Billy Cook, his first big league plate appearances, a 2-run double down the left field line. Also in the first, made a leaping catch into the netting and foul ground. Played first base today. CJ Abrams, Joey Bart, Michael A. Taylor, Andrew McCutchen, all homer. Patrick Corbin did Patrick Corbin things. 6 innings, 10 hits. Jared Jones retired the final 16 men he saw and K'd 9. It's crazy how much of a white flag a 9-figure guy can be. Yeah. I always have that eureka moment. I'm just like, wow, you are actually surrender Cobra as soon as you toe the rubber.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just so done talking about him, and like I'm so done
It's
talking
hilarious.
about.
We
I
haven't
know.
talked about him in a long time because he sucks, but it's hilarious.
It's true. It's just the same conversation over and over again. Look how much these guys are getting paid. Look how bad they are at baseball. Isn't it insane?
The thing is, he's so available.
I know.
It hurts his case. It's like he's going to be out there in 4 days.
Got to give him credit for that. Every 5th day. I mean, imagine like he comes home from work after giving up 14 earned in 2 innings. And he's like, babe, I mean, we made like $1 million today, but I was horrible.
King of the silver line.
I
would love to get a beer with Pat Corbin. Like
that's why we probably feel fine making fun of these guys, because they're going to have more money than we'll ever have in our entire lives. Him and Baez. Who cares? I mean, it doesn't matter. Patrick Corbin is a World Series champion. He's going to make $100+ million. He's fine. I don't think he cares if we're making fun of him on a podcast. But
He's probably, because he's on the hill all the time and he has to get used to this. He's probably a mega chiller. I would
Oh,
love to hang
I
out with
bet he.
Pat.
I bet. I mean, I don't know, but I agree with you. I bet he's one of the cooler guys in Major League
Yeah.
Baseball. My actual takeaway: Dylan Cruz is turning into one of my guys.
Really?
I
You like the grit.
I will always gravitate towards the young hitters who don't look like young hitters. And what do I mean by that? Plate discipline. This guy doesn't chase. He already has a 12% walk rate. And these are things that we already saw at LSU, but we've seen plenty of guys with elite plate discipline in college and it not carry over to Major League Baseball. Or maybe it does in a few years and it doesn't right away. It's right away for him. 3 homers, 5 steals. He hasn't even fully tapped into anything yet. So I'm not looking at a guy with a 780 OPS and thinking to myself, oh, it's not great. That's very good when you're hitting 212 or 217, like
Yeah.
I said. So this guy, like if I'm a Nats fan, I'm very excited because James Wood is so flashy and he's so unbelievable and he's just got power out the wazoo. CJ Abrams is another freakazoid. But then you have Dylan Cruz, who's just so solid. Every at bat, he's never out of it. Big fan of his so far.
Understood. Okay, let us go to the next one. This was in Boston. This is the White Sox and the Red Sox. Red Sox took how many of three?
I
Two.
don't know. You tell me.
2 of 3.
Mm.
Game one, 3-1 Boston. Boston got 2 in the bottom of the 7th to put it away on a 2-run homer from Cedon Rafaela. Davis Martin looked good, man. 6 innings, 1 run. Nick Pivetta matched him. 6 innings, 1 run. Game two, Boston won 7-5. Red Sox got 4 in the bottom of the first after allowing 2 in the top of the first. Trevor Story made his return to the lineup. He went 1 for 4, drove in a run. Tyler O'Neill had a multi-homer day. Andrew Vaughn, Andrew Benintendi went yard, the Andes, and then Garrett Crochet, 2 innings, 4 runs. It sucks that like we're getting this guy for 50 pitches, and sometimes it's awesome over 3, sometimes it's brutal over 2, and you just have no idea what you're getting. Romy Gonzalez, 3 stolen bases. Game 3, 7-2 White Sox. Nasty work. They're now 33 and 111. Tied 2-2. The White Sox got 5 in the top of the 9th against Zach Kelly. Richard Fitz made his major league debut. Fitz, who was acquired from the Yankees in the Alex Verdugo trade. 5 2/3, 2 unearned runs, so no ERA just yet. 2 strikeouts in his big league debut. Connor Wong, Wilyer Abreu homered for the only Red Sox runs. It's 144 games, 33 wins. So that means that there are 18 games remaining. The White Sox have to go 7-11 to match the win total of the worst team in the modern era. They gonna
They,
do it?
they ain't going 7-11. They're going like 3-19 all the way through.
They're the worst team since people actually understood what baseball was, and we're not talking 1894.
Since people could spell the word baseball, they're
Yeah,
the worst
exactly.
team.
How many
So
L's on the back of this?
I'm going to be completely honest with everybody listening, completely honest with you.
You didn't watch
This
a pitch?
I didn't watch a second of this series. How could you? Because we
Oh,
have so much better baseball on the television. We got football, we got college football. I didn't turn on a second of this, so I'm not going to pretend like I have any takeaway because I didn't watch a second of it.
can I tell you the only reason I turned on this series?
Tell me.
I saw Kansas was playing Illinois in football on Saturday night, and I saw that it was a Fox game, so I naturally turned to Fox. White Sox, Red Sox. They booted
That was an
KU
accident.
Illinois to FS1. I love that.
I love that.
Baseball reigns supreme.
I'm fired up for that. I'm pro
So
Fox now.
I would have been fired up for 29 other teams, but like the fact that it was the White Sox that booted KU and the University of Illinois to
Think about it.
FS1.
Think about it. You're watching history. I mean, it's the
You are
worst
watching
history
history.
possible, but it's
Is there,
history.
should they put them on Sunday Night Baseball again?
Yeah, it's almost like watching a car crash. Like you can't look away.
Right. And people watch NASCAR for the crashes. Some people
Exactly.
do.
Exactly.
You know,
I'd
okay.
rather watch NASCAR than the White Sox right now.
I think so too.
I
And I
mean,
just don't watch it.
I don't
Watch
watch
Formula
NASCAR, but
One.
I respect NASCAR because I think tailgates before NASCAR events
So
have
sick.
got to be just the greatest events in
So
sports. Like,
sick.
so shout out all the NASCAR people. They're
That and
rowdy.
that and SEC tailgates in
Yes.
October, I'm
And
sure.
Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, Buffalo Bills, man. Okay, let's go to the Reds and the Mets. This was in Queens, and the Mets take 2 of 3. Game one, Mets extended their winning streak to 8, 6-4 New York in 10. Mark Vientos, 2 2-run homers, second of which was a walk-off. Scoring came in pairs. Mets scored 2 in the first, 2 in the sixth, 2 in the 10th. Cincinnati, 2 in the fourth, 2 in the seventh. Vientos had those 2-run homers in the first and the 10th. Ellie and Friedel had 2-run homers off of Sean Manaea. Brandon Williamson was good as the long man for Cincinnati. Edwin Diaz looked like Edwin Diaz on Friday night, struck out the side in order in the ninth. Game two went to the Mets 4-0 to make it 9 in a row. 4 spot in the sixth on a Bader homer, an Alonso single, and a 2-run double from JD Martinez. Jacob Junis, the Frankie Montes trade, take a bow. 5 shutout, just 1 hit. But Jose Quintana, 6 2/3 shutout, 6 Ks. Game three, Reds salvage 3-1 Cincinnati. Santiago Espinal, a 2-run double in the ninth, snapped a 9-game winning streak for the Mets, also snapped a 1-1 tie. Luis Severino looked good, man. 6 2/3, 1 run, 8 Ks. Julian Aguilar matched him, 4 2/3, 2 hits, and no runs. This was a fun series, in large part because of the Met vibe. Man, like, the Mets are really fun to be involved in right now.
Remember, I was talking about how National League West baseball right now is my most fun to watch?
Yeah.
I'm watching more Mets games right now than I am Yankees games.
Yeah.
They are an electric team. And when you think of the Mets, you think of Lindor's MVP chase, or you might think of Pete Alonso. I think you think of a lot of guys, except the guy that I want to highlight here, which is my big takeaway. Mark Vientos has been just an absolute slugger. He's slugging 553. Now, he doesn't qualify because he hasn't played enough games. But just to put that in perspective, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is slugging 558 and Ketel Marte is slugging 551. So he would slot in with the 9th highest slugging percentage in all of Major League Baseball if he qualified, while hitting 284. He strikes out a good amount, but it is 3% lower than last year, and he's doubled the walk rate. And he's still 340 OBP, 24 jacks. Like, this guy, especially when Brett Beatty was I think the higher ranked prospect. And when he doesn't really work out, well, who's going to play third? And when Vientos first came up, it wasn't looking great. That's last season. That ain't this season. Mark Vientos is a real slugger. He's fun to watch.
Yeah. How real moving forward?
For Vientos?
Yeah.
Real. I think so. I think he's going to be a guy who hits for a ton of power for a very long time. Now, is he going to be a guy who hits 284? Probably not.
No.
But is he going to be like a 260, 340, 530 guy? I think so.
So are you more sold like, all right, get a full healthy season from Francisco Alvarez and Mark Vientos in 2026? Who's giving you more bombs?
I think Vientos is.
Mm,
I think so. Well, also, Alvarez is a catcher, so he's probably not going to play as many games, too, which helps my case. On a per homer basis, I think their slugging is pretty similar. And with what Vientos is doing right now, it's hard not to say Vientos because he also came up as a slugger, right? This has always been his game. This isn't new for him.
He did. I just wondered if he was going to be a lefty specialist, like if he was going to be the short end of the platoon guy. I think he has proven that the answer is no. And I think that his presence, his success has made Beatty expendable. I also think Beatty's struggles have made Beatty expendable. I think it's pretty similar to, Torque is reversing the narrative on himself right now. Torque is killing, but like a Henry Davis, for example, like a Henry Davis, a Brett Beatty, I think those guys, their struggles have made themselves expendable and other pop-ups have made them further expendable. In terms of like being a really good middle of the order bat, I still just have some questions about Vientos because we got several seasons of a tough track record for Vientos. So I want to see it happen again in 25, but I love what I'm seeing in 24. I do.
And to your point, like he definitely is a lefty masher. I mean, he's slashing 346, 381, 636 for a 1017 OPS against lefties. But the fact is he's slugging over 500 with an 838 OPS against righties.
Right. And I wonder
stuff.
if that dips to the 600s when he comes back to earth. And Fortunately, he's kind of proving that the answer may be no, which is
Yeah.
awesome because I would have said, oh, this is just a fever dream and we're good. It's been happening for a long time at this point.
He just hits the ball too damn hard.
It's all
Too
really
damn
hard.
hard to not be successful.
Yeah, fair. All right, let's go to Milwaukee here. This is Rockies and Brewers. Game one went to Colorado, 3-2, the Rockies. Brenton Doyle, that magic double play to end the game where he pretty much big dicks Jordan Beck. And it's like, dude, get out of the way.
Get out
I'm
of
going
the
to make
way. I
this
saw
so
that.
funny. It's like, yeah, no, I know that you're lined up for this, but like, I'm Brenton effing Doyle. Who are you?
Yeah, I'm Brett Doyle. Like, get out of the
Yeah,
way.
get out of the way.
It's like when Carmelo Anthony like would go up for a rebound. He's like, "Fuck out of here, get out
You're
of the
right,
way."
exactly. Like that was him just taking the ball away from Jordan Beck and gunning the guy at third base, tagging to end of the ball game. But Michael Tolia's 3-run homer allegedly only went 428 feet to dead center. That thing, like that was a Biggs 2 on Wii power up where he shatters the scoreboard. 428, I don't buy that. Also, his 23rd home run of the year, sneaky Michael Tolia's season. Frankie Montes had 10 Ks in this one. Ryan Feltner, 6 innings, 2 hits, and 1 run in Milwaukee. Game two, 5-2 Milwaukee. Tobias Myers was awesome. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 11 Ks. Homer Fest. McMahon, Hilliard, homer for Colorado. Adames had his 30th. Gary Sanchez and William Contreras also homer for Milwaukee. Game three went back to Colorado. So Colorado took the series 2-1. 4-1 Rockies. Rockies runs came on a Hunter Goodman solo shot and Sam Hilliard's 3-run home run. Kyle Freeland, 6 innings, 1 unearned run, 4 Ks, and no walks. Seth Halverson. If you don't know the name, then you're probably not listening to the call up. But Seth Alverson got to 100.7 on the gun twice out of the Rocky bullpen. This was fun and exciting and an awesome weekend for Rockies fans like me.
Yeah. And for Brewers fans like me, I do not care about this series. One of those ones that you just throw away, bad series, whatever. So my takeaway is, are you pointing at me? Go ahead. Maybe you're going to answer my question even before I ask it.
No, you ask because it may pertain to my thought.
It's very simple. Just where are you at on the Brewers right now?
Yeah. I am turning a corner on Tobias Myers.
Good.
I'm not turning a corner on Savali. I'm going to hold my ground until he throws a perfect game in Game 7 of the World Series.
I think he's okay. Like I think
don't.
he's good enough.
I just don't.
The bullpen behind him with that offense, like I think he's gonna win a playoff game.
I started turning a corner on Colin Ray last week, and I'm turning a corner on Tobias Myers now.
September.
I
A corner now.
I know. It took a while. I'm
Colin
not
Ray's
saying
been-
they're great, but like, yeah.
Colin Ray's been so good all year, and you're like, I think I'm finally ready to say he's good.
You haven't turned a corner on Christian Javier
That's because
because it
no,
doesn't.
I'm right
narrative.
still. I'm right still.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know?
right about Savali. I will firmly be correct on Savali at some point.
And that's not fair because when Christian Javier threw the like combined no hitter in the playoffs, I ate some crow. I absolutely ate some
It's
crow.
fine.
Like I was like,
It's fine.
well, okay, so that was good. That was very good. So,
Yeah, I'm starting to admit defeat on Tobias Myers. I'm close to fully admitting defeat on Colin Ray. I'm nowhere near even fucking starting on Aaron Savali.
I want Savali to be like the game 3 starter. I'm gonna bet on him out of spite for you. And like
Yeah.
I'll lose that bet on purpose because it has to be done.
That's totally fine. Can you give me a scale of 1 to 10 entertainment factor of the Colorado Rockies in 2025?
They are sort of fun. The reason why I say sort of and not actually fun is because outside of Quantrill, like I enjoy zero pitching. I don't care if it's in the bullpen,
So
I don't care if it's in the rotation, but there are certain players that I think are fun, like Tovar and Doyle, and I think Toglia has like a ton of power. Like when he
Tolia's got you.
connects, he crushes baseballs.
I think
So they are
Veen is
fun.
going to get up. I think Veen is going to get up at some point this year. Amador has the chance to correct this offseason.
Better.
Drew Romo has the chance to level up this offseason a little bit. And Dolander's going to be in that rotation at some point next year, man. And Halverson, if you ain't seen it, make sure to tune in because it is a freak show on the radar gun.
It is gas. And yes, the Dolander glazing and the Just Baseball group chats. Like, there's a lot of Dolander truthers. I
He's
got to get a better look at
phenomenal.
him.
He is phenomenal, man. Okay, I've got two more series, and we go to Oakland Tigers A's game one. Banger 7-6 Oakland in 13 innings. Each team got a run in the 10th. They got two in the 11th. They got a run in the 12th. Seth Brown had a walk-off single in the bottom of the 13th after a scoreless top of the 13th for Detroit. Parker Meadows, the 11th was the story here. Parker Meadows, a two-run double in the top of the 11th. Seth Brown, a two-run homer in the bottom of the 11th. No decision for Tarek Skubal, so he cannot extend his American League lead in wins, but 5 2/3, 2 runs, and 7 Ks. Game two, 2-1 Detroit. Two-run top of the 7th for Detroit on an RBI fielder's choice and a sacrifice fly. That was the winning difference. Brant Herter as the long man, 5 1/3, 1 run. Brady Basso got the start for Oakland. Brewster Whitecaps stand up, particularly 2018 Brewster Whitecaps stand up. Brady Basso, 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs. He K'd 6 for the A's. Game three, 9-1 Detroit. Ty Madden was good as the long man. 5 innings, 1 run. He K'd 7. Trey Sweeney, dude, 4 for 4 and homered. Detroit got 16 hits. Ross Stripling stunk the joint up in the big inning for Detroit. I will say this. Detroit 3 months ago, had the worst shortstop situation in baseball, and it wasn't close because they were tied to Baez. They still are financially tied to Baez. Ryan Kreidler was supposed to be the Band-Aid on the gash guy. And Kreidler, each time he got up, for granted a limited sample in the big leagues, but each time he got up for a sample in the big leagues, Kreidler was really not good. So the question was, okay, who's next? McGonigal's not a shortstop. McGonigal's going to play second base, third base, whatever. Colt Keith is not a shortstop. He's going to play second, third base. Chase Young, not a shortstop. He's going to play second, third base. Where's the answer? UID Bryce Rayner in the draft. He's a high school kid. He's so far off. He's not going to play an affiliated game in 2024. And then they go and get Trey Sweeney in that Flaherty deal. They get Tyrone Lorenzo, the catcher from the Dodgers, who is a top 100 prospect and a very good hitting catcher, probably projects as the future of the catching position for the Tigers. But they add Sweeney. Sweeney was a victim of a 40-man crunch by the Yankees. No, by the Dodgers. The Dodgers acquired Sweeney as a non-40-man guy, trading away Yorbit Vivas, who was a 40-man guy. So he goes from the Yankees, former first-round pick, to the Dodgers this year. Performs pretty well in AAA. He's an older guy, 24 years old, was a college guy at Eastern Illinois. He was kind of an Albuquerque merchant. Arm and I have talked about that. Like, I think 70% of his homers in AAA came in Albuquerque when OKC went on the road there. But when he was acquired, his first full week was in Indianapolis, and I was floored at how hard this guy was hitting the baseball all the time. He was spraying it at 105, 106, 106. Trey Sweeney can play, man. Is he the answer? No. Long term, I don't think so. But is he a damn good third middle infielder? And is he a really good shortstop option right now while you just continue to eat the Baez money? Yeah. I think they have their stopgap shortstop.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to say it. It's a stopgap. I don't think it's the answer because remember when I was talking about Dylan Cruz? He's in every at bat. They look very professional, walks a lot, hits the ball hard. Sweeney hits the ball hard. When I watch his at bats, I'm looking at a guy who does have some power when he connects, but chases a ton. He's got a 1.9% walk rate, right? His ABs don't look good to me. Looks kind of all over the place, and then when he connects, it hits off the bat hard. But he's good enough defensively, and if he can run into some baseballs, that's a stopgap. But if I'm the Tigers, I'm still looking for more shortstops. I don't want to settle with Trey Sweeney. And and who knows, maybe he proves me wrong. Maybe he works a little bit on this plate discipline, doesn't chase as much. walks sometimes,
A
doesn't
little
have
bit
to
more.
walk a lot. Like,
Yeah.
but I think you're right. Stopgap. I would, if I'm a Tigers fan, basically my point is I'm still looking.
Yeah. So now, granted, in 107 AAA games this year, he hit 267 with a 345 on base. So he walked there. You're just hoping that this 18 game sample, like one walk in 18 games is only going to happen once, and it's at the start of his professional career.
And to be fair to him, right? His first 18 games, he's 24 years old. Like he wants to go hit, right? It's the
Yeah,
Tigers,
no
right? It's
doubt.
it's not like every run matters. You
He
want
was
to
a
go get
Yankee.
yours.
He was a Yankee and a Dodger prospect, and now he's like, "Oh, I got to the big leagues. I'm a Tiger. Like, let's do this."
So that's basically my entire point is I get it.
Yeah,
It's very, very early. I've not been impressed by his at bats
yeah,
so
fair.
far. Things could change. He's 24. I'm gonna give him a second.
If they didn't have X amount of $1 million committed to Javier Baez, I would absolutely say go venture elsewhere.
Yeah.
But they've got this guy on the league minimum, 25 and
Yeah.
26 and 27. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine.
It's
Like,
fine. And he's a pretty good defender too. Like let's not put that to the wayside. He can pick it over there at short.
he can pick it. Okay. Last series for me is San Francisco and San Diego. This one was at Petco. And San Diego did drop this series 2-1 to the Giants. Game one, the Padres only win. Manny Machado, 3 for 4, 2 homers, drove in 3 in a 5-1 Padre win. Michael Conforto homered. Michael King, 6 innings, 1 run. He K'd 8. Game two was the Grant McCray game, 6-3 San Francisco. Giants got 3 in the second, 2 in the ninth. All 5 RBIs for San Francisco came from the 9-man Grant McCray, who had a 3-run homer in the second, 2-run homer in the ninth. They plated 6 runs. The 6th run came when he bounced into a double play. You don't get an RBI if you ground into a double play. So every single run came off of his bat. This was supposed to be the Webb versus Cease game. Both were okay. Like nothing to write home about. I was very excited for this one, and it
Me
turned
too.
into the Grant McCray show, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, whatever.
I turned it off in like the 5th inning. I was just
Yeah,
like, okay, like I came for this and it was none of it.
yeah. It was like it's not. It doesn't suck. Like I'm not underwhelmed, but I'm not like, oh yeah, I got
I
my time's worth.
I didn't go to that game to watch both of my favorite pitchers to watch get kind of killed. Like,
Yeah,
that's not what I wanted to
not
do.
kind of killed, but it was like 5 innings, 2 runs, and it was like 6 innings, 3 runs. Like, hey, okay, yeah,
Okay.
quality, but is it quality?
No. Yeah.
Game three went to San Francisco 7-6. San Fran had a 6-run 4th inning. San Diego got 3 in the bottom of the 7th, 2 in the bottom of the 8th to make it interesting. Sucked to see Joe Musgrove take a step back. 4 and a third, 8 hits, 6 earned. Matt Chapman, recently extended Matt Chapman, 2-run homer off Musgrove. Luis Matos, solo shot off Musgrove. And Gerard Encarnacion, 3-run homer off Joe Musgrove. Merrill and Bogarts homered. Ryan Walker with a 5-out save to lower his ERA to 1.82 on the season. Is this the Giants closer? Or is it going to be Doval to break camp again next year?
Oh, it's got to be Walker. I mean, he's because it's not like Walker also just right now came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Ryan Walker was an elite setup man to Camilo Doval. So he has proven that he's a great reliever, and you can see it in the numbers, but you can also just see it when you watch. My takeaway, so I've been very pro Padres. Very pro Padres for a while now. I have World Series futures on them, futures to win the National League pennant. I've been hyping them up a lot. A lot of that was because Dylan Cease was otherworldly dominant. And I thought to myself, well, I like King enough. I know Musgrove's going to come back. And Musgrove, like, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Since he came back, he's been very good. One
Right.
bad start against a divisional opponent, you're fine, right? One bad start, you're fine. But this isn't one bad start for Dylan Cease. And it's not like he was bad, but 6 innings, 4 runs. Start before that against Tampa, who's not a good offense, 3 runs in 5 innings. I only gave up 2 hits, but
Let's do this. Let's do this. Last 5 starts for Cease. Okay. August 17th in Colorado, 5 2/3, 3 runs. August 22nd at home against New York, 6 1/3, 9 hits, 3 runs. August 27th in St. Louis, 4 1/3, 7 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks. September 1 in Tampa, 5 innings, 3 runs. And then this one, dude, 6 innings, 4 runs. Like, it's not 2, it's 5.
I know. And it's when you know Dylan Cease better than anybody. When he's on a heater, dear Lord, when he's not, he's like a mid-fours guy. It's
Mm-hmm.
so up and down. So if I see Dylan Cease, the mid-fours guy at the top of the rotation in game one in a big-time series against a good offense, I'm very nervous. And then it has to be on King or Musgrove, who's still kind of getting his feet under him, and Darvish, who knows what he's going to be like in the postseason. And to your point, King doesn't have postseason pedigree. I still believe in him. I still think he can shove, but still, my expectations for the Padres are changing a little bit because it's not like the offense has been explosive lately, right? They've had a lot of late game magic. That's all I'm saying. My expectations have tempered with San Diego, and Cease could go on another heater, and then you'll see my tone completely change because I think him being on a heater can win the Padres the World Series. I truly
Yes.
do. And if he's not, they got to really hit, and other guys got to really step up to get by in series. I think he's that important.
I got a little bit of heat in February or March when I said that there is a world, I think it was March, maybe early April. There was a world, I said that there was a world where Brian Wu could have a better 2024 than Dylan Cease. And like, was I told that I was on drugs? Yeah, absolutely. Um, did I seriously doubt that? Do I still think that Cease is having a better year than Brian Wu? Yes, I
Because
do.
Wu hasn't thrown that many innings, but in
Yeah.
Wu's innings, he's unbelievable.
Wu in 99 innings has a 2.36,
Yeah.
and he's walked 9 guys, 77 strikeouts, 9 walks
Yeah.
in 99 innings. Um, the only thing like I will say is I don't think I was correct. Like I think Cease has been better than Wu because he's been way more available and he's a strikeout artist. I thought Wu was going to K a lot more guys than he is right now. But I know what the roller coaster feels like with Dylan Cease. Like that doesn't I don't just pull that out of my ass to say that. Why would I pull something out of my ass like that? I've experienced this with Dylan Cease. I've experienced this with Carlos Rodon. And I'm telling you, man, it's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I love him. I love it because the highs are so good. But this stretch, it's like, can you win us a World Series? Can you? Again,
Yeah.
you start to have those things creep into the back of your mind.
But then the counter to that, what's stopping him from going on another heater? Let's say he
Nothing.
has a few
That's the
more
thing.
bad starts and he catches the heater in
Dude,
October, because you and I both know it doesn't really matter who Cease is facing. He could
he
face the
wait.
best offense in the world when he's on a heater. Like, you're not touching 100 at the top, and then the banger curve. Like, you're just not going to touch it when
No,
he's
dude.
in the zone. You're just
He,
not.
wa- he wakes up on the right side of the bed. He wakes up in the at the right time in his REM cycle. He's King, Soto, and Judge 6 times in 6 ABs.
He does. Relax there. But I see what you're saying. Why'd you have to bring Judge Soto into it? Like, he's got to get past the National
Because I
League.
know my
You're a
audience.
hater.
I know my audience on the Zoom.
All right, that's fair. Is it my turn to get through the series now?
It
Before we,
is.
yeah, go ahead.
It is. Before that, though, quick break.
All right, it's my turn, and we're going to start in Atlanta for a series between the Blue Jays and the Braves. Game one, Braves win 3-1, and it was the Max Fried show. 7 innings, 5 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 8 Ks. His ERA is down to 3.38. Kevin Gausman was fine. 6 innings, 3 runs, 5 Ks, ERA to 4.09. Just not a great season for him. Marcell Ozuna and Nathan Lukes were the only players with multiple hits in this game. Game two,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Lucas. It
Lucas.
spelled like Luke's, but it was Luke. I was floored when I learned that.
I
Floored.
did not know that. Game two, Blue Jays win 9-5. Blue Jays grabbed a 5-0 lead, highlighted by 2 home runs and an RBI double from Spencer Horwitz through the first 5 innings. He's been great for the Jays. Braves battle back in the ninth to go from 9-1 to 9-5, but it just wasn't enough. Jose Barrios was excellent once again. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 5 Ks, his ERA to 3.52. Available, solid. Barrios is just the definition of that. Game 3, Braves win 4-3 in 11 innings, a banger. Jared Kelenic hit a home run in the second, but there was no more scoring until the 8th when Spencer freaking Horwitz sends another one out of the park to take a 2-1 lead. Olsen ties it in the 9th with a sac fly. Braves scored 2 in the 11th on a throwing error, by Addison Barger, and then Sean Murphy grounds into a fielder's choice, and Eli White scored. Also, shout out to Eli White. He also went 2 for 2 in this game. Chris
Mm.
Sale, magical once again. 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 7 Ks. His ERA is down to 2.38. And Yaro Rodriguez was pretty solid. 5 innings, 1 run. Braves win the series and move to 78 and 65. Blue Jays fall to 68 and 76. Braves really needed that win at the end there to stay tied with the New York Mets. This race is awesome.
This race is electric. And with the Mets as hot as they are, dude, like I thought there was a world where the Braves were just going to go away, and they're not going away. And you give the Braves a little bit of blood to smell in the water, they're going to go get you. They just acquired Kevin Biggio. He's going to hit 400 over the final month of the season. We know that. It already happened. I saw it. Uh, dude, the Braves, I feel like they're braving right now. I asked Aram on Friday after Sale's last start, does he have the Cy Young on lock? And I think he just further proved that he's got the Cy Young on absolute lock right now.
Wheeler has been so freaking good, and their ERAs are separated by like 0.2, right? Sales at a 2.38, Wheeler's at like a 2.59. So the only reason I'm not saying it's on lock is because if Sale has one blow up outing, I don't think his numbers are going to look that different from Wheeler. And then we have to have a longer conversation just because Wheeler has been so phenomenal. But
Yeah.
if it ended today, it's definitely Sale. So I understand where you're coming from when you say that.
Yeah. That was my big takeaway. The Braves are doing the Braves thing, and you let them hang around for long enough. I feel like I've seen this unfold before.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, who do you think wins, like gets that spot between the Mets and the Braves? But the
Atlanta.
reason I didn't ask you was because you were going to throw it back to me for my answer, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Scary.
And
I don't know.
I'm saying with minimal confidence, Atlanta.
I'll say the Mets just so we could both have an answer because I
Embrace
don't
the
know. I genuinely don't know. Like
Cool.
it's like my brain says Mets, but my heart is watching, or excuse me, my brain says Braves.
Yes.
My heart watching the Mets and this electricity
So yeah.
feels like I want to say Mets.
So if I have this right, you hate the Braves.
Hate them
Hate them.
because
They're the
that's what my sentence
worst.
meant.
Oh, they're the worst.
I love the Braves. All right, let's go to Phillies versus Marlins in that same division for a 4-game set where game 1, Phillies took the first one 5-2. Phillies grabbed a 5-0 lead by the 6th inning, highlighted by a home run and an RBI single from Bryson Stott. Good to see him swinging the bat. Ranger Suarez, great. 5 innings, 0 earned, 4 Ks. His ERA is down to 2.90. We move to game 2 where the Phillies just beat the piss out of the Marlins. 16-2. Phillies had a 7-0 lead after 2 innings, highlighted by a Trey Turner home run. It was 14-1 after 6 innings, highlighted by a Kyle Schwarber 434-foot nuke. But almost everyone in the lineup had an RBI double, it seemed like. Like I could list all the players, but the entire Phillies lineup was hitting. Edward Cabrera got scratched in this game, leaving Austin Kitchen to allow 6 earned runs in 2 innings. Not nice, you know. Kind of stinks if you're Austin Kitchen just getting thrown into the
No
fire
doubt.
against the Phillies.
Edward Cabrera ended up in the hospital
Yeah,
with a migraine,
I
and,
don't know.
then he came back on Sunday.
And shoved. We'll talk about it. But again, Wheeler shoved 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned, 7 Ks, ERA to 2.59, like I said. Game 3, Marlins win 9-5. And this was the Otto Lopez show. He was a triple shy of the cycle. Jonah Bride and Connor Norby both homered as well. Xavier Edwards, again, Connor Norby, Jesus Sanchez, Jonah Bride, Otto Lopez, and Nick Fortes all had multiple hits in this game. And Aaron Nola weirdly struggled. 4 innings, 4 earned, 9 hits, 5 Ks against the Marlins. Aaron Nola, you're way better than that. Game 4, Marlins beat the piss out of the Phillies, 10-1. Connor Norby homered again to start the scoring, and it was an offensive barrage in the third on RBIs from Otto Lopez, our guy Griffin Conine, Sanoa,
Javier Sanoja,
Sanoha.
who was hitting everything in AAA. You thought you liked Xavier Edwards? Wait till you see Javier Sanoja play.
And also Nick Fortes. Where were you when Nick Fortes? And it's capped off by yet another Connor frickin' Norby home run. Now, Seth Johnson's debut. Um, I'll just read you the numbers. 2 1/3, 9 earned. Edward Cabrera was the complete opposite, dominant. 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned, 6 strikeouts. Series split. Shout out the fish. Phillies moved to 85 and 58. Marlins moved to 54 and 89. Connor Norby is fun.
Yeah. And I think that O's fans knew that. It's just crazy that like the Baltimore Orioles didn't have patience and frankly like space for Connor Norby. Norby was either going to play an okay left, a not great third, or second. And Baltimore had the number one prospect in baseball playing second base. They have a top 2 young shortstop in the game, Ed Short. They have a top 10 prospect in baseball that projects as the third baseman long term. They have an all-star that is the current third baseman. They just like ran out of space for that, dude. So Norby coming back in that Trevor Rogers deal, it's an awesome get, man. That's just a flat out awesome snack.
Yeah, I will say too, when I watch Connor Norby, I think he's a pretty solid player. Do I think he's a 908 OPS? No, I do not.
No, he's not. He's hot right now.
But what I wanted to bring up is I don't think he's as bad as Baseball Savant thinks he is. I mean, the
Oh,
underlying metrics are
blue. Threes.
absurd. I mean, it's a 359 WOBA to 287 X WOBA. It's a horrible differential. Says that the batted ball luck has been all in his favor.
Whatever.
Striking out 33% of the time, walking just 4.7%.
Whatever.
I mean, they're saying every number is fake. But again, it's a short sample. I want to see it continue because I think this is fun. I like watching Connor Norby.
Are they boosting the crowd sizes at Marlins Park too? Is like I'm all for fake numbers, man.
I mean, if they could double it by just getting a local bar to just like bring some of the people over.
Lanigans.
Nobody's there right now. It sucks. It sucks.
Yeah.
Like we're making fun of it, but that blows. Like, you know, if I'm a Marlins fan, I don't want to see my stadium have 12 people.
They're getting right, dude. They're getting flat out right, man. And like
this version of the Marlins is way more fun than it was.
And the upper minors are looking hot, man.
Yeah. I just hope that we can make baseball in Miami great again. All right. Let's go to Twins versus Royals. Big time series. Twins, game 1, Royals win 5-0. Cole Reagan's dominant. 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned, 1 walk, 7 Ks. His ERA is down to 3.33. Michael Massey goes 3 for 3 with a jack. Hunter Renfroe drove in 2 on a 2 for 4 day. Zebby Matthews, not good again. I'm rooting for you, man. 5 innings, 4 earned, 4 Ks, ERA to 7.36. Game 2, Royals win 4-2. Twins grab an early lead on a Jose Miranda RBI triple and a Matt Wallner RBI double. Royals tie it in the 7th, and Bobby Witt has a go-ahead RBI single, and then MJ Melendez adds an extra insurance run on an RBI single for himself. But Bailey Ober was downright disgusting. 7 innings, 1 hit, no earned, 7 Ks, ERA to 3.77. I've said it before, I'll say it again. When he has command of the changeup, say goodnight. When he doesn't, well, that's what sometimes happens. That's why his ERA is 3.77, because he can have some blow-ups. But when he's on, he is fantastic. And Alec Marsh was fine. 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned, 5 Ks, kept his team in the game. Game 3, Twins, you got to have this one. But the Royals said, nope. 3-0 shutout win because Michael freaking Wacha just continues to mow down everybody in his path. 7 innings, 4 hits, no earned, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. ERA to 3.34. What a pickup. RBIs from Garrett Hampson and Salvi for the Royals decided it. Royals sweep and move to 79 and 65. Twins fall to 76 and 67. Shit. I mean, great for the Royals. I think this was enormous for them, and I want to give them all the praise in the world, but I mean, this was a terrible performance by the Twins. Terrible when they needed it. Their offense was nowhere to be found. I mean, I'm watching this series thinking to myself, like, is this going to be the inning? Mm-hmm. It was so bad. I couldn't believe how bad the Twins offense looked this series. And I know they faced some good pitching. But Alec Marsh, that was like one of the best starts for him this year. You're the Twins, divisional race, September. Very disappointed.
Can I ask you a question?
Talk to me.
Tigers are 3.5 back. Seattle's 3.5 back. Red Sox are 4 back.
No. I reject your question. No. Twins are. This was a bad series. They will rebound. They are too good. I mean,
So they're a postseason team, and like your confidence level there is it sounds like it's like a 7.5.
Are you talking about them winning in the playoffs?
No, I'm talking about them getting there. They hold on to the final wild card spot. The Tigers and the
Mm,
Mariners are 3.5 back.
I'm pretty confident that they'll
Okay.
be fine. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm like a 9 out of 10. They make the playoffs. I
I'm just
really do think they will.
I'm just saying sweat a little bit, dude. Like I'm not at a sub 5, but I'm at like a 6. I'm looking at the Tigers, and the Tigers all of a sudden kicked it into gear. They were out of the conversation for a while, and here they are in the conversation all of a sudden.
No, I think it's easy to have this conversation after a really bad series. Like the Twins are a much better team than those teams are. They just
Yeah,
are.
I'm with you. But are you worried Zebby Matthews is 2 around the strike zone? Like that's
Yeah, I
something
mean,
that kind of
hasn't looked
concerning.
good. I know, but Ober has been so freaking good. Pablo Lopez has been standing on his
Pablo
head
Pablo
too.
kicking it into gear is the reason that I am
Yeah.
firmly a 6.5 on
Still
that.
like the bullpen. I still think the offense bangs. I more just wanted to say this was a series to have the Twins leapfrog the Royals.
Yeah,
Shout out the Royals. They played super well. The pitching was unbelievably good. But
yeah,
again, the pitching was very good, but I did feel like the Twins just laid down. And that's why I wanted to bring that up. But again, it's all relative.
gotcha.
I expected much more from the Twins in that series, and I didn't get anything. And I was disappointed.
Fair.
All right, let's go to Mariners versus Cardinals. Kind of a good series. Game one, Mariners win 6-1. Dylan Moore's 2-run home run in the sixth was pretty much enough to win it because Bryce Miller, God, he had it all working. 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned, 4 Ks. His ERA is to 3.18. Hand up. I wanted to trade him for Brendan Donovan. Hand up. I am a moron. All right. Julio Rodriguez also had 3 hits. All right. Game two, Cardinals win 2-0. Only score in the game was a Pedro Pajes home run.
Yeah.
Logan Gilbert, I mean, he was great, but when your team doesn't score, what are you supposed to do? 8 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned, 1 walk, 10 Ks. It's phenomenal. Gave
If
one home
this
run.
ain't the Mariners, sorry to cut you off. If this ain't the Mariners season,
I know, but then the next game, we'll talk about the Mariners in a second. But nobody's going to care. It's going to go completely under the radar. I said at the beginning of the year, and I'm not saying I was right. I think this is just what Kyle Gibson is. Like, think about it. Nobody cared about signing Kyle Gibson. Nobody cared. But he's going to throw a ton of innings at a 4.2 and be dependable all the time.
yeah.
Like, that's valuable. He's not flashy, but that's what I was talking about when the Cardinals were signing some of these veterans. I gave Lance Lynn a little bit too much credit, but I like the Kyle Gibson signing, and it has been an objectively good signing for the Cardinals. Now, the rest of the season, not great, but I did want to say I have enjoyed Kyle Gibson's work this year.
So
Six and
if
2/3, 3 hits, no runs.
I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. If Kyle Gibson goes up to John Mozeliak and says, "Hey, I'll come back on the same exact deal next year," what do you say?
Absolutely, yes, we'll take you.
"Hey, I want to come back on a 2-year deal," what do you say?
How much money you want on that 2-year deal?
I know. It's so scary.
All relative. All right. Game three, Mariners win 10-4. Mariners had a 7-0 lead after 2 innings, highlighted by a Randy Rosarina 2-run home run against his former team, technically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jorge
You're right.
Polanco also homered. Unfortunately, though, there's great news for the Mariners. They won 10-4. They beat the piss out of the Cardinals. Castillo left in the fourth inning after he appeared to twist his ankle. At least
Yeah.
that's what I saw, but it was actually a hamstring injury
Hmm.
from Mariners PR. Hope he's okay. I don't know the development there. This happened today. Don't have a ton of more information, but of course we will update you here on the Just Baseball Show. And the reason I think that Kyle Gibson has been such a good addition, because not all veterans veterinarize. It's a new word I made up. Veterinarize, where it's be solid.
Is that a cousin of Luis Arise?
It is.
Arise?
Miles Michaelis was horrible. 2 innings, 6 earned. His ERA's at 5.55. I mean, Mariners win the series and move to 73-71. Cardinals fall to 72-71. The Mariners outmitted the Cardinals. And that's all I got here.
Battle of mid between the Mariners and the
Which
Cardinals.
sucks because this series in September should have been sick, right? I
Yeah,
mean, think
it
about it.
definitely
Going
should
into
have.
the year, like we were pretty excited about the Cardinals. We were excited about the Mariners. This could have been the Mariners and the Astros still fighting for that spot. Could have been the Cardinals and the Brewers fighting for the division. Not really. It's a
Can I
bunch of 500 teams seeing who could lose worse.
can I tell you my track of thoughts for this one?
Absolutely can.
I pull up the weekend calendar on like Wednesday or Thursday. It's like, oh, Mariners Cardinals is kind of interesting.
Right?
Then I see the pitching matchups. I'm like, "Hey, am I
Ugh,
interested in this?" And then you keep tabs on the game, and it's like, wait, why was I ever interested in this?
I know.
The progression.
I know. I mean, the Mariners pitching is still really good.
It's awesome. And that's why I watch a lot of
I
Mariners
know.
baseball because I love me some starting pitching. And it's wild. Left hamstring strain is the diagnosis for
Okay.
Castillo. Don't know how severe that is. There are varying severities of hamstring strain, so hope he's all right.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Yankees versus Cubs. Our teams, sort of. Game 1, Yankees win 3-0. Luis Gil was fantastic.
Yeah.
I watched every inning. I mean, he was dicing. It was classic Luis Gil, where he can put it when he can put it wherever he wants. He's diabolical. 6 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. Aaron Judge and Austin Wells with RBI hits. Really cool to see Anthony Rizzo's return. Really cool. Like the coolest thing of the weekend, in my opinion. And maybe I'm biased, but I thought it was, I mean, it
No,
was emotional. It was perfect. It was the way that they embraced him as they should. It's not like I thought anything else, but that was just, I think that was the coolest moment of the weekend.
them giving him his walk-up song was the
Yeah.
perfect touch.
Yeah. He was just, it just makes you smile as a baseball fan. Like every single baseball fan in 2016, unless you were a Cleveland Guardians Indians fan back then, I think wanted the Cubs to break the curse. Rizzo
Yeah.
was obviously a huge part of that. He's going to be a legend in that city for the rest of his entire life. And to see how much they embrace him, it was so cool. Game 2, Yankees win 2-0. Yankees clinched their 32nd straight winning season. 32nd straight winning season. 82 wins. Same amount as last year. 82 and 80. Clark Schmidt was good in his return. Nestor combined with him for a shutout. I thought they were both fantastic. Javier Assad, 5 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned, 5 Ks. ERA's at 3.14. He was fine. But again, just harping back on the Nestor thing. I don't know exactly what the Yankees are going to do. Maybe a piggyback type situation. Nestor, when he heard that he was going to be probably moving to the bullpen, like he obviously wasn't happy about it, but he just wants to see the team win. And I'm always going to be a Nestor guy. And in that spot, he was great. Great, great, great. Austin Wells, Aaron Judge provided the RBIs again, even though technically Judge didn't get credit for an RBI because Christian Bethcourt made an error on the play. But regardless, Yankees win 2-0. Game 3, Cubs win 2-1. Cole and Jamison Tyone, best buddies. Both were dialed. Jamison Tyone, 6 innings, 1 run, 6 Ks, ERA to 3.57. Garrett Cole has been on a freaking heater. 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned, 7 Ks, ERA to 3.36. Isaac Paredes, 2-run single in the first inning, ended up being enough. Yankees win and move to 82 and 61. Cubs fall 273 and 70.
Okay. Yeah, they win the series. I was going to say Cubs won game 3.
Yeah.
You're right. Cole has been on an absolute tear.
Oh, yeah.
Last 4 starts for Cole, 6 shutouts, 6 shutout
Yeah, he's
with
back.
1 hit, 5 innings, 3 runs, and then 6 innings of 1-run ball. K totals last 5, 10, 8, 2, 7, 9.
I know it sounds crazy, but I've watched all of his starts. I think there's still another level in there.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Like, he's dialed right now, and
Yeah,
it's not even 100% of
disappointed.
Yeah, he's Garrett Cole. Like he's the best pitcher in baseball still in my eyes. I think that's fine. We ranked him number 1 going into the year. He was hurt, and now he's pitching like the best pitcher in baseball again. He's still Garrett Cole.
Happy birthday.
Garrett Cole's birthday?
Cole. Yeah, 34 years old on Sunday. Happy birthday.
Didn't know
Happy
that.
belated birthday.
I should have known that.
Right?
Did I not notice that when they were talking about that on the broadcast? I don't know. Maybe
I don't know. I just noticed the passive aggressive thing.
Yeah.
What Kay and the other guy on that one. That was bizarre.
Flaherty? That was bizarre. I don't know if anybody heard that. Flaherty was talking about I guess he wasn't on some road trips, and that allegedly he likes calling games with Ruocco better, and Michael Kay took offense to that.
It was really weird.
Michael Kay, if you listen to the Michael Kay show, the dude gets offended by everything. I mean, Twitter trolls. He gets like really up in arms about somebody on Twitter saying something dumb. Like it's fucking Twitter, Michael K. Like that's where dumb people go to make takes. That's why I'm on there so much. Like he just gets offended by everything. It's like, dude, I love Michael K. I've always loved Michael K. But he needs to, like, dude, you're in baseball media in 2024. You should see my DMs after I lose a bet. Like, and you're way bigger than me, bro. Like, you gotta tone it down a little bit. Any more takeaways from you? My big takeaway was just I think Garrett Cole is at the top of his game, and I like almost shed a tear watching Rizzo. That was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, that was the moment of the weekend. Like last weekend, it was Jackson Holiday throwing or catching that first pitch from Matt Holiday, and this weekend it was Anthony Rizzo getting that welcome back to Wrigley. No, my only other thing is I don't know how to feel about Jameson Taillon because I watch it and I'm like,
Either. I
I
know.
think I like you, and then I watch it some other times and I'm like, do I like you? I don't know.
He's got some Savali to him, where he's kind of
Yeah,
built like
but
a
like
bag of
way
milk.
better than Savali.
Yeah, kind of built like a Elmer's glue a little bit, but no, I mean, but shut up. Like I can make fun of these guys because they make $50 trillion a year
That's a
and they're so
crazy job.
solidified.
Like Elmer's glue.
Yeah, just kind of like square and rounded, you know, like 2% milk, a little bit.
Sure, go to the next.
All right. Okay. I mean, am I wrong, everybody on YouTube? We're all looking at the same guy, aren't we? I'm just the guy to say it. I'm just the guy to say it. And I can as a guy who's also kind of built like Elmer's glue. Right? This is coming from a spot of like, I know who you are because I look like you kind of. People have said I even look like Jameson Taillon. That's been an actual comp. So I can say it because I am
I
kind of the
think
podcast version of Jameson Taillon in a way.
I think that's the hardest I've ever laughed on the show.
Well, I'm glad making fun of myself is good. Taillon. All right. Games or Angels versus Rangers. This series, Rangers won it. Let's talk about it. Game one, Rangers win 3-1. I'm going to say it on every single weekend roundup until people freaking put it deep into their core of their brain. Cody freaking Bradford. How many times, Jack? How many times?
A lot, every single one.
6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned, 4 Ks, ERA to 3.05. He's freaking good. He is good. He's a Peter Vision guy. Command. Get outs guy. Cody Bradford. Remember the name. Adolis Garcia, 3-run home run in the first inning was basically all that was needed. Jack Kohanowicz. He's kind of been okay, sort of. 6 innings, 3 earned, ERA to 4.89, but he doesn't strike anybody out. I don't know if it's going to last, but he's so tall, and I feel like he looks really hard to hit. So that's my takeaway from him. Game two, Angels win 5-1. Samuel Aldegheri, 6 innings, 1 earned, 7 Ks, ERA down to 2.45. First career win for the Italian-born pitcher. And Logan O'Hoppe, 3-run home run. Was basically it. Angels win 5-1. Game three, Rangers win 6-4. This was a much better game. Taylor Ward started the scoring with a home run. Ezekiel Duran, 2-run double, ties us up at 2 after 5 innings. Angels score 2 in the 6th, but Rangers rally in the 7th, take the lead on a 2-run single by Josh Smith. Langford RBI double to add some insurance. Tyler Anderson was great. 5 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 7 Ks. And Jack Leiter, I thought, was very good.
Yep.
I know we gave up 3 earned runs, but again, when you only give up 2 hits, 5 innings, 6 Ks, thought he looked good. I know his ERA is like 10, 8, 9, but it's a process. And I think he's got something good in him.
It's also way inflated from his early starts.
Exactly. Like I think he came into the start with like a 16 ERA. It's like early sample sizes. Game 4, Rangers win 7-4. Rangers had a 5-0 lead after 2 innings on home runs from Marcus Semien, Nathaniel Lowe, Ezekiel Duran, and even Semien had another RBI single. Charles LeBlanc homered for the Angels, but it just wasn't enough. Caden Dana, welcome to Major League Baseball.
Yep.
1 inning, 5 earned, 7 hits for the rookie pitcher. Remember, he's 20 years old. I think he's gonna be totally fine. Andrew Heaney, 6 innings, 3 earned, 8 Ks, ERA to 3.84, but it was his first win since late July. Wow. Rangers win the series and move to 70-74. Angels fall to 59-84. The reason why I don't really have any takeaways on this series is because none of the games were that competitive outside of game 3.
Yep.
And how many times can I have a takeaway about Cody Bradford? I mean, how many times can I just be
Can't
like, hey, did you see it again? But I will just keep saying, like, this is real.
Yeah.
We're seeing it again happen game in, game out, just every single time. He's just shoving. Like he's a
Understood.
real pitcher.
Yeah, I mean it's clockwork. Like those kind of starts were clockwork, and I think that he has thrust himself into the Rangers back end starting pitching conversation moving forward. And that is an old rotation. Like he's in it moving forward. And I wonder what it's going to look like. DeGrom, Leiter, Kumar Rocker next year going to feed generations.
Yeah, but why are we just already giving it to Leiter and Kumar Rocker when like Cody Bradford is like it should start with DeGrom, Bradford, and then like Kumar and Leiter. It really
Okay,
should.
that's fine. If Kumar
Bradford's been the
and
best pitcher on the team this year.
yeah, if Kumar and Leiter are my 4 and 5, I'm in a really good spot.
Yeah, like
I'll
they're
tell
more
you,
exciting, but Bradford is objectively proven that he's better right now.
yeah, I will tell you, I hardly kept tabs on this series, and it sucks that the Rangers have gotten to that point. Like the Rangers are
No.
officially out of my out of my rotation of teams that I'm keeping consistent, detailed tabs on. I'm fascinated by this Angels rotation: Kahanowitz, Aldegari, Dana. I find it very interesting for split reasons. Like I'm worried that Kahanowitz is going to get killed. I'm worried that Dana is going to get killed. I'm worried that Aldegari is going to get killed. But it's also like, hey, you're young, you're new, you're fresh, you're exciting. I'm going to watch that. So
Yeah.
I just didn't this weekend because they were playing a team that, frankly, has fallen out of my rotation, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually watched 3 of the 4 games in the series. I watched I watched Cody Bradford. I watched that game. I didn't watch game 2, but I watched game 3 because I wanted to watch Leiter, and then I watched game 4 because I wanted to watch Dana. So I actually did end up watching 3 of the 4 games
Well,
of
you
this
turned
series.
it. You turned off game 4 pretty quickly, then.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, understood.
But technically I did turn it on. All
Fair.
right, let's go to Dodgers versus Diamondbacks. Or excuse me, Dodgers versus Guardians, excuse me. Game 1, Guardians win 3-1. Andres Jimenez homered in the 6th. Otani homered as well. And Brian Rocchio homered in the 8th. And that was all the scoring. Matthew freaking Boyd. Matthew freaking Boyd. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 6 Ks. If you haven't been keeping tabs on Matt Boyd, check the stats. 2.20 ERA as a Cleveland Guardian guy's been dialed. Landon Knack was also very good. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned, 8 strikeouts. Move to game 2. Dodgers get revenge. They win 7-2. They got out to a 6-0 lead in this one after 1 inning, highlighted by an Andy Pages 2-run home run. Now, Lane Thomas did go yard, but Mookie Betts homered to give them a lot more breathing room. Gavin Williams, one of those starts, I guess, didn't make it through an inning, gave up 5 earned. And this was a Dodgers bullpen game. Very, very solid. I mean, to limit the Guardians' offense like that on a bullpen game, very good. Game 3, Dodgers blank them, 4-0. Otani and Muncy both went yard. Otani's home run, they said went 450. That was bullshit. That ball was demolished. 117 off the bat, just crushed. Ties his career high back in 2021 with the Angels with 46 home runs. Tanner Bibee was fine. 5 innings, 2 runs,
Yeah.
4 Ks. You know, it's a below average start for Bibee. That's how good he's been this year. But Jack Flaherty was just fantastic. 7 and a third, 4 hits, no earned, no walks, 6 Ks. His ERA this year down to 2.86. What a turnaround for him. Dodgers win and move to 86 and 57. Guardians fall to 81 and 62.
46 and 46. Fucker's gonna do it.
Oh, yeah. We knew that, though. Like, we knew that. Of course we
Yeah.
did. It's Shohei Otani. What were people out here doubting him?
Wasn't that available on MGM? You
Yeah, it
took
was
it.
plus
Right?
105. I told everybody about the bet, and of course it's one of those times where it's like I tell people and then I forget to do it, and I didn't do it. Now
You
of
didn't
course
do
it's
it.
gone. No, I didn't do it.
Of course, it's gone.
I know, and I'm
This
an honest guy. I would tell you if I bet it. I didn't bet it. I wish I did.
and dude, like he got over the 100 RBI threshold too. Like he is absolutely amazing.
I know that you guys were hashing out the Lindor Otani MVP debate. It's so freaking close.
It's tough.
I
It's
totally
tough.
get both sides, but like if Otani goes 50-50, like you give it to him because he's gonna hit for
I,
like a
I hear
170
you.
WRC plus. Like I
There, so there are a couple like non-starters for me in this conversation. If Otani goes 50-50, oh yeah, you give it to him. Anything else is a non-starter.
I mean a
Otani's a
50-50
DH.
season.
Otani's a DH. Oh, of course you give it to somebody else. That's a non-starter. Like,
Yeah.
of course it's the DH that is going 50-50. If this guy played 2 games in right field this year, I would give it to Otani with zero qualm.
Yeah, it's no, I totally get it from
It's
the
just a
Mets' point of
weird.
view.
It's a
Lindor is a higher
weird.
WAR. He's playing short. He's the life and blood of the Mets. 7.3 F4, but like he's got an 850 OPS versus Ohtani. He's gonna go 50-50.
I know. I know.
So I don't. That's why I can hear anybody out. Legitimately, I can hear anybody out. If you think Lindor is the true MVP, okay. It's almost like I have the same opinion on steroids in the Hall of Fame. If
You
you
can
if
hear
you
both
think that
sides.
if you think that like Barry Bonds and all these guys should be in, I totally can hear you. If you think none of them should be in, I can totally hear you out too. Like it's one of those where I don't. You're both right.
Yeah.
We'll just see what happens.
Yeah. I gotta ditch the crotchety old man thing for me where I'm firmly team DH shouldn't win the MVP because you're,
I get that,
half the time. Like
but then
it's
he
tough.
goes 50-50.
I know. I know.
I know. It's like
There's
fuck.
always another swing of the pen.
I think if you're gonna win the MVP as a DH, you have to have like 70 home runs or go 50-50. Like, is that fair, Mets fans? If a DH is gonna be out Lindor, he has to go 50-50. Otani's gonna do that. So like, what if he goes like 52-52? It's bore.
It is more.
We'll see. All right. Last series. Diamondbacks versus Astros. You'd think the Diamondbacks would put up a better fight than this. Well, actually, on Sunday Night Baseball right now, they're winning 9-5. Game one, Astros win 8-0 for Ember. That's a bad man. That's a bad man. Framber, when he's on, has just been phenomenal. 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 7 Ks. His ERA is down to 2.97. Another bad man, Jordan Alvarez. I mean, he hit 2 bombs, totaling 827 feet. Brandon Pfaadt was not great, and I was surprised to see that he's got a 4.42 ERA. He always feels like he's doing better than the numbers say. 4 innings, 4 earned, 5 Ks, ERA to 4.42. Like I said, Jose Altuve and Mauricio Dubon, 3 hits each. Game 2, Astros went 11-5, but the score was not as wide as the final score is. It was close early. Kevin Newman gave the Diamondbacks a 3-1 lead on a home run, but the Astros battled back. They take a 5-3 lead on RBIs from McCormick, Jordan, Bregman, Eugenio Suarez homered in the 6th to kind of close that gap. But then the Astros offense just exploded in the 6th and the 7th, and it was highlighted by home runs from Jeremy Pena and Jose Altuve. Eduardo Rodriguez should not get starts in the postseason. 4 innings, 4 earned, ERA to 5.83. Yusei Kikuchi should, and this was one of his worst starts with Houston. Only he gave up 4 earned in 6 innings with 6 strikeouts, but again, one of his worst starts in Houston. And then, of course, on Sunday Night Baseball right now, as we're recording at around 9:15 Eastern time.
Pavin Smith nearing the home run cycle. Pavin Smith has a 3-run shot against Verlander, a grand slam against Verlander, and a solo homer against Caleb Ort.
All right, here's my takeaway because I'm glad that happened. Well, no, I'm not glad that happened, but
Verlander.
I was assuming it might happen. You starting him in game 2?
No.
In game 2? They have to. It's Verlander. What are you gonna not?
Yeah, as simple as that is. Like,
I mean, us objectively, like we don't care about the allure of Verlander. Like
no,
we're
I
looking
do.
at the best options.
I do.
The Astros?
I firmly care about the allure of Verlander. I think I had Verlander in the top 5 pitchers in baseball coming into this year in that vote.
That's wild.
I firmly side with Verlander. If he's got a beating heart, he's in the postseason rotation until I see this. And dude, watching the first couple innings of that and watching that Pavin Smith home run, I'm like, you're telling me that Ronel Blanco has to take a back seat to this right now? And it sucks. And I love what David Cohn was saying on Sunday Night Baseball. Like, hey, Verlander's professional. Verlander is introspective. He knows exactly what this decision is going to mean. Framber Valdez is a postseason rotation lock.
Yep.
Hunter Brown is a postseason rotation lock.
Yep.
Ronel Blanco.
Well, Kikuchi's a lock.
Kikuchi is a lock. So then it becomes Ronel Blanco, Verlander. I think Arrighetti's out of the equation.
Yes, probably.
You going to go with the guy that was the all-star snub? Or are you going to go with the guy that is going to be the future first ballot Hall of Famer when the All-Star snub, is pitching noticeably better than the other guy.
I feel like we know the answer to it, whether it's the right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
We're going to go with Verlander.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe he does step it
know.
up, but I dropped him from my fantasy baseball team like a while ago. I mean, that's a decently deep league. Like I couldn't have him starting in my spots anymore. That's how you know it's getting bad, when you're dropping Verlander and then nobody's picking him up.
Yep.
So that'll do it for the weekend roundup. Hopefully everybody enjoyed us breaking down the series that were from the past weekend. And if you did, please rate and review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, 5 stars. The best way to support without spending a dime. It only takes a few clicks. We truly, truly appreciate it. If you have a second, just go on to Apple, go on to Spotify, click the review button, press 5 stars. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that big red subscribe button if you haven't already. And please like the video. It's the best way to support, while also leaving tons of comments down there as well. Go get yourself some Just Baseball merch. I'm rocking my hat. Jack's rocking nothing because he hates the company. Don't be like Jack. Go get it in the episode description. Anything else before we say goodbye?
I don't think so.
All right. So for Jack McMullen, I'm Peter Apple. With that, thank you, everybody.